Gospel Mark 9:14 to 29. Help the little faith I have. When Jesus, with Peter, James, and John, came down from the mountain and rejoined the disciples, they saw a large crowd round them and some scribes arguing with them. The moment they saw him, the whole crowd were struck with amazement and ran to greet him. "What are you arguing about with them?" he asked. A man answered him from the crowd, "Master, I have brought my son to you. There is a spirit of dumbness in him, and when it takes hold of him, it throws him to the ground, and he foams at the mouth and grinds his teeth and goes rigid. And I asked your disciples to cast it out, and they were unable to. You faithless generation," he said to them in reply, "how much longer must I be with you? How much longer must I put up with you? Bring him to me." They brought the boy to him, and as soon as the spirit saw Jesus, it threw the boy into convulsions, and he fell to the ground and lay writhing there, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the father, "How long has this been happening to him?" "From childhood," he replied, "and it has often thrown him into the fire and into the water in order to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have pity on us and help us." "If you can," retorted Jesus, "everything is possible for anyone who has faith." Immediately, the father of the boy cried out, "I do have faith. Help the little faith I have." And when Jesus saw how many people were pressing round him, he rebuked the unclean spirit. "Deaf and dumb spirit," he said, "I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." Then throwing the boy into violent convulsions, it came out shouting, and the boy lay there so like a corpse that most of them said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and helped him up, and he was able to stand. When he had gone indoors, his disciples asked him privately, "Why were we unable to cast it out?" "This is the kind," he answered, "that can only be driven out by prayer." One of the most powerful and fascinating stories in the Bible is the account of Jesus healing a possessed boy. This story not only showcases Jesus' incredible power and authority, but also highlights the significance of faith and healing in the context of our walk with God. The boy's family was torn apart by the evil spirit that had taken hold of him. They had tried everything to free him from its grasp, from seeking help from other spiritual leaders to attempting to cast out the demon themselves. But nothing seemed to work, and the boy continued to suffer. His family was at their wits' end, desperate for a solution that seemed out of reach. The possessed boy was not only a burden to his family, but also a source of fear and confusion to those around him. No one knew what to do, and many had given up hope. The boy's father was especially distraught, feeling helpless as he watched his son struggle with an enemy he couldn't defeat. The weight of his son's suffering hung heavy on his heart, and he felt like he was running out of options. As the days turned into weeks, the family's desperation grew, and they began to lose faith in the possibility of a healing. The encounter between Jesus and the boy is a striking one. The disciples had just failed to heal the boy, and the crowd was in an uproar, arguing with the scribes. Jesus arrives on the scene, and the atmosphere immediately changes. The crowd falls silent, and the scribes stop arguing. Jesus' presence is like a breath of fresh air, bringing calm to the chaotic scene. The boy's father approaches Jesus, begging for his help, and Jesus responds by asking him how long the boy has been suffering. The father explains the situation, and Jesus immediately sets to work. The disciples, who had failed to heal the boy, stand by and watch as Jesus takes control of the situation. The crowd is on the edge of their seats, waiting to see what will happen next. The spiritual implications of possession are far-reaching and complex. When Jesus casts out the demon, he not just healing a physical ailment, he is restoring the boy's soul. The demon had taken up residence in the boy's body, controlling his actions and speech, and Jesus is reclaiming that territory for the kingdom of God. This is not just a physical healing, but a spiritual deliverance that has far-reaching consequences for the boy and his family. The fact that Jesus is able to cast out the demon with a simple command speaks to his authority and power over the spiritual realm. Jesus is not just a healer. He is the ruler of the kingdom of God, and he will not be defeated by the forces of darkness. The moment of healing is a turning point in the boy's life. Jesus takes the boy by the hand, looks up to heaven, and commands the demon to leave. The boy's body begins to convulse, and then suddenly, he is still. The demon is gone, and the boy is free. The crowd erupts in amazement, and the father is overcome with emotion, thanking Jesus for his incredible act of kindness. This is not just a healing. It is a miracle, a testament to the power of God and Jesus. This story has so much to teach us about the themes of faith, redemption, and the transformative power of Jesus' healing. It reminds us that no matter how desperate our situation may seem, Jesus is always in control, and he is always able to heal and deliver us from the forces of darkness. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about the story of Jesus healing a possessed boy, please let me know in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about biblical miracles, be sure to check out our next video.